recently completed my CPA Australia program. I did all 6 subjects over the 2.5 years. And lots of people asked me about how I did it so quick, any study tips, recommendations. So I decided to make this video and share my story and give you recommendations how to pass CPA Australia exam. Here are my results for each subject, and as you can see I did failed ones. So I definitely know what not to do, what to avoid, and what to do to don't fail. So tip number 1, start early. The official study semester lasts 10 weeks, which in my opinion is quite short. But you can get access to PDF version of a study guide even before you enroll. You just have to go to Facebook and find the CPA Knowledge Equity study group for the particular subject. You just type CPA and the name of the subject, and usually it's the first group you need. You click join, and once you accept it, in the file section you should be able to see the PDF version of a study guide. Be careful, as CPA Australia updates study guide every few years, so read few recent posts to make sure you got the right one and you can start studying. You can either read it from your iPad to get the general understanding to prepare for the actual semester. And the option 2 is what I do. I print the whole study guide and bind it. So I start reading, highlighting important sections, making notes way before the actual semester starts. During the actual semester you'll get the guided learning exercises, webinars, short videos, quizzes, but the exam is still based on study guide only. So the more familiar you will be with the study guide, the better for your exam. When the actual textbook arrives, I don't use it because by that time I already finished reading my study guide at least once. So it gives me a lot of time for preparation. Why it's important and I recommend to start studying early. It is quite challenging to stay on track if you start studying on the first day when the semester starts. Life happens, you or members of your family may get sick, or you have some urgent stuff at work or any other commitments, and it will be difficult to maintain the recommended hours during this period. So by starting early, you give yourself some sort of a buffer for contingencies. If you miss some weeks during the actual semester because of some other stuff, you won't be that worried because you know you started early and you covered that content. For me, it means less stress, more time to understand the topics, and more time for the revision and practice exams. Number 2, make sure you cover all preparation materials that are provided. When semester starts, you'll be given the access to guided learning provided by Knowledge Equity. Knowledge Equity is now an approved CPA support partner. Their platform and materials are included in your CPA exam fee. Previously, a few years ago, CPA did not have such a big learning support, and you would have to pay a fee to Knowledge Equity to get access to those preparation materials. So now, when all these materials are included in your fee, it is not wise not to use it. If you talk to someone who did CPA a long time ago, they will tell you that it is very difficult to understand the concept just using the study guide, and there is no place to ask questions. While in guided learning in Knowledge Equity platform, you'll have that access, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions. So don't ignore what is given to you. Cover every video, every quiz that is given. By doing this, you will significantly increase your chances of passing. In terms of study strategy, it is very subjective. I recommend reading the whole study guide once before semester starts. Do not do any notes or worry about memorizing concepts. Maximum what I do, I just highlight important areas in the study guide. By doing this, you sort of undercoat your brain and get it ready for the deep learning once the semester starts. And it will be easier for you to understand concepts from the videos or quizzes because you already had some exposure to it. And I have to mention here that you have to read the whole study guide at least once. Yes, the whole book. Some people ask me, do I really need to read the whole study guide? Can I just watch a couple of videos from the guided learning? That's it? Maybe if you have many years of experience, you're naturally very smart, but I don't think most of us will fit in that category. The exam is based on the study guide, so it is critical to know where to find relevant information. So to sum up this point, read the whole study guide, bet a few times, highlight important areas. You can make notes for important aspects. Watch all videos, webinars, and do all the quizzes that are provided for you. By doing this, you can be quite confident in passing. Tip number 3, make an index. You might probably seen that some people sell their indexes online and many people buy them, probably you one of them. I personally prefer and recommend you to do your own index. Not only when you make the index, you go through the content again, you revise it and memorize it better, but also the way you organize it, it's your own way. And if you need to find particular definition or concept, you will know where to find it. I did indexes for all my subjects and I found them to be very useful. This is how my index looks like. I make them as I go through the content of the study guide, and for the actual exam I print it in an alphabetical order so I can easily find the necessary concept or definition. Tip number 4. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You have to make a plan how you're gonna make the recommended study hours. I did not follow this point, and that was one of the reasons why I failed one of my subjects. Every subject has their own recommended hours for study. Usually it's from 10 to 15 hours per week. While it is just a recommendation, depending on your previous experience and your previous knowledge, you may need a bit more or a bit less. But keeping your weekly study hours around that range is a good practice. So you have to look at your day, at your commitments, and decide when and how you're gonna make those hours. Some people prefer study only on weekends, 2 full days of study. Others, like me, prefer doing 1 to 2 hours on weekdays after work and 3 to 4 hours on weekends. This point is particularly important for those daredevils who is planning to do more than one subject per semester. In this case, obviously your study hours will double. And for example, instead of 10 hours, you have to do 20. So you have to think about how you're gonna make it. From my own experience, a full-time job and 2 subjects per semester is tough. Prepare to have 0 social life and any life at all between your work desk and your study desk. If you work part-time or you don't work, of course it is more manageable. You just have to be very disciplined. Again, it is not impossible to do 2 subjects with full-time job, but you have to be very disciplined. And last but not least, please do not listen to people who says they did 3 subjects per semester with full-time job and 3 kids and they got high distinctions. It will only mislead you. First of all, you don't know their situation and if it's true at all. Second, you're not them. Don't compare yourself to others. You have your own pace. Next, do not listen when people say, oh, this subject is easy and this is not. We all are very different. Someone prefers calculations over theory. Someone prefers theory over calculations. Someone loves numbers and dies with theory subjects. Some of us have more practical experience, which enormously helps compared to graduates. So all these comparisons are not helpful at all. And remember, CPA program is not easy. If you were a star at the uni, it doesn't mean you will be star here. CPA program is much harder and you won't have tutors every day that's gonna spell out the subject for you. I'm trying to scare you, but trust me, it is very frustrating when you get failed and you just lost $1,200 and 4 months of your life. So be wise, use all my tips I mentioned so you don't have to experience failing. Overall, CPA program gives you great knowledge, great community and great career perspectives. It is a great foundation that can open many doors for you. So don't give up and take your own time to complete the program. I hope this video was useful and good luck with your exam.